Hello, and welcome to Hero Wars Info. My name is Ryan. As always, my goal is to make sure you're the most efficient Hero Wars player you possibly can be so you can get to the top of your server. Today, I want to talk about, can you be successful if you don't spend in the game Hero Wars? So this is kind of a complicated subject. There are a lot of players that play that don't spend a dime, and a lot of people will tell you that if you don't spend, you're not going to be able to be at the top. And my thoughts are we kind of get down into four different categories of spenders, and then we'll get a little bit further into the question. To start, we have the no spender. This is someone who literally will not spend a penny in the game. They don't have VIP 1, meaning they don't have free raids, so they're doing everything manually. They can't speed up anything. They're usually going to have a ton of energy because they just don't have the time to get through it. Now, these are the people who are very hardcore of saying, I'm never going to spend in Hero Wars. There's not going to be anything I'm going to be doing there. Then we have our kind of a little bit of a step above that. We have the minimum spenders. And the minimum spenders, really the only thing that they're going to be buying is this right here, Valkyrie's Favor. This will allow you to get 5%, 5 times combat speed. It will also be able to eventually give you rating in the VIP scale right here. So that you can get through missions very quickly, and you don't have to go through them manually. And if you get to VIP 1, you immediately can start all finished guild quests with a single click, and you can start instant loot raids in the campaign missions, but it doesn't let you do the times 10 yet. That, I believe comes at 5, or if you have the raid ticket. So about $2 a week is what they're going to be spending, so they're the very minimum. Then a step above that is kind of the moderate spender, and that's where I would find myself. Moderate spenders are people who say, I'm not going to buy everything, I'm going to pick and choose based off what I think is the best value. Like, for example, this Cosmic Season, I haven't bought. As much as I would like to get some totem fusion stuff out of the random Ancient Elemental Spirit Summoning Sphere, I'd like to exchange that. I'm not going to do it because I'm actually still waiting to figure out if Lara skins are going to be dropping in the new Lara event, which I think is going to be happening soon. And so I'm kind of figuring out what decisions I should make to put my dollars the best available. My roughly spend is around $25 to $50 per month. That can change. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes it can be more if there are a lot of events. But I wouldn't consider myself a whale, just a moderate spender. And that gets you into the fourth category. Those are whales. Those are the people that, look, if they're going to be buying, if there's something they're selling, I'm going to be buying. You go into like here, and I can't believe people are buying this, but like the Corsair Lagoon, right now we have the Blackbeard's Legacy event, and usually if someone buys this, they're expecting to get all of these chests, but instead they might just get these first 4, and these last 3 that have like a lot of the valuable materials that you would be paying for, they're not going to get because people are not buying this. If you buy this and you're not getting all those chests, you're absolutely a whale. Okay, like that's a pretty good way to emphasize it. But those are the people who are going to have almost maxed out heroes, maxed out titans, maxed out totems. They're the people that whenever something gets released, they're going to be the first ones to get it finished. So, for example, in this Titan Fusion, if you see someone with level 5 on there in terms of the fusion, they're probably a whale. Since this just got released just a little bit ago, if they're rank 5. So, unless they got very lucky. So, everyone falls into kind of one of those categories. And there can be a little bit of a mix between those, but for the most part, that's where everyone falls. So the whales are the ones, if you have all your heroes, obviously you're going to be competitive. All you have to do is just know which matchups to play, right? And you don't even need to do that well at that. If you have all your heroes maxed, then you will always be able to find a winning team as long as you put a little bit of work into it. Now, I don't think this is as fun personally as someone who can figure out where should I be putting resources. So, That's not really my style. If it's your style, more power to you. If like this is your main source of fun, entertainment, great. But I want to be a little bit more strategic. And I think in the next phase, you can also still be at the top of your server. So for example, I'm a moderate spender. I don't have nearly all my heroes maxed. I have about 20. maxed out, and some that I'm still working on, and I work on one at a time. But if every single day, whenever it gets to arena time, almost every single day, I'll be first. So I'm going to be getting the max rewards during Guild War. I will be in a top Guild War team. I will have a great guild that, because I'm a moderate spender, so I'm getting moving faster than most people. And I should continually be able to get most of the resources that come out throughout the game. Now, while I might not completely max events out, I will pick and choose, and the events that I want to max out, I will be able to max out. Then we got the barely minimum spender, and these are the people that, again, are spending very little. Valkyrie's favor. They're not going to be able to max events out nearly as much. They're going to really have to pick and choose of where they want to spend their resources, but they'll have a little bit more emeralds than the absolutely free-to-play, who is really going to have to spend a lot of time if they want to be competitive. Now, the question overall is, can I be competitive no matter what of these phases I'm in? The answer is yes, but you have to set the right expectations. So, whales, moderate spenders, you should be at the top of the server. If you're not, then you're either on a very, very hard server, or you're probably doing something wrong in the game of Hero Wars. If you are in the first two phases where you're just getting Valkyrie's favor, or a free-to-play, congratulations, you're probably in the majority of people. So how can you be competitive? Number one, it's important to take advantage of every single resource that you possibly can. Now, I personally, if you play the game for any length, I am in favor of Valkyrie's favor, because just the amount of time that it's going to save you, unless you're in a really bad spot, like that time is going to be worth more than the $2, right? If you save an hour of time a day because you have to do manual missions in the campaign, $2 per week is absolutely worth that hour, which would be 7 hours over a week. But you have to be super efficient. You're not going to be building out multiple heroes. You're going to be building out 5 heroes, and you'll probably be building them out for a while. You're going to want to make sure that you're constantly trying to get the max resources from guild. Make sure you're in as high as guild as possible, that you're building out that guild. That whenever events like AOC come around, those chests that get dropped, you're maximizing those. That's going to be super important. And you're going to have to be really specific about times to use things like bottled energy, any emeralds that you get, etc. You're even going to have to really be, I think, strategic. And this is the place where I think you can start to get a little bit more volume. There are going to be hero tournaments of powers that free-to-play players can win. A lot of times, you'll be in weaker groups, and I do have one account that I play occasionally that's kind of in that space. Still level 130, but is completely free-to-play. I haven't spent anything on it. But you'll notice that you'll get a lot of times pretty weak tournaments, and if you just save a lot of the hero potions, you're not going to have all your heroes maxed if you're free to play, at least for a very long time. So if you save your potions, you can level up these heroes during that time, and it'll give you a lot of points, which gives you emeralds, which then allows you to do a little bit more stuff whenever things come along. I always recommend, for any type of player, you should be getting at least 100 emeralds per day for free on different events or different modes that come up. So you can always do this ×2 by energy. That's a good way to at least stay a little bit more up to date on getting equipment a little bit faster than if you're completely free to play and you have energy here just wasting away. I've seen some accounts where it's 5,000 energy up here, and they're not using it because they have to go into manual mode every time. And if you are free to play, completely free to play, I think the best thing to do is on Winterfest, hope that you get that golden ticket that allows you to raid, because that is going to help you dramatically, even more than a totem would. So that's kind of the strategy that you're going to have to hope. Get that golden raid ticket so that you can move forward. But even then, you still can compete. You just have to set expectations. You're not going to be at the highest level. You're not going to be in the best gold league with the best people who are spending, because your teams just aren't going to be that strong. But you still can have fun. And you still can have a good team that can do well in all these various modes. If you build out a very solid team and you continue to build that out, you can get top 20 in Arena pretty easily. You can get relatively high in Grand Arena. All of these modes that continually give you daily rewards, which is the important part of the game. Making sure you're maximizing your daily rewards, right? Let's say you do get into the 20th position on a daily basis. That gets you 270 emeralds. You use 100 of those for energy, right? Now you have a little bit more energy to spend with, a little bit easier to get the extra enchantment runes that are one of the daily quests. And now you're starting to get a little bit more of an engine to improve. So it is possible. You just need to really focus and strategize on the best events, the best place to spend resources, and the best heroes that are going to be able to beat a wide variety of teams. Because if you are building just one team, it is going to have weaknesses, and you can't expect to always win. But what you can expect, be smart about your matchups, be smart about the resource management, and you can get ahead. Same thing with if you're just spending minimum. At least then you will have a better chance of getting through campaign stuff pretty quick and getting more items quickly. But you're going to be relatively in the same spot of trying to, slowly build out heroes, even if you are able to raid. That is still going to take a long time. So, is it possible? Yes, absolutely it is possible. You just need to be strategic. If you're wondering about how can I do that, I have plenty of other videos in my beginner's library about that, so check those out. Thanks so much for watching, and talk soon.